The main function of the fuel system is to supply the engines and the APU with fuel, while at the same time balancing the aircraft. Balance is established during refuelling and maintained while fuel transfer takes place. Engine 1 is normally fed from the left-hand side and Engine 2 from the right side. Study the ECAM page and select the tank on the aircraft diagram which is supplying the APU. The centre tank or the inner tank could supply the APU, but in this case the APU is being supplied from the inner tank. Select the correct inner tank now. Page and select the tank on the aircraft. APU fuel is normally supplied from the left inner tank or centre tank. The secondary function of the fuel system is to maintain the centre of gravity, CG, within certified limits. The fuel system also circulates fuel in order to cool the oil for the integrated drive generator, IDG. There is inbuilt redundancy in the organisation of the fuel system, with 2 fuel pumps in each tank. If either pump fails, one pump is sufficient to supply one engine at maximum thrust. The engines can also be gravity-fed if all fuel pumps have failed. There is also redundancy within the CG control computer, CGCC, which activates the trim tank pumps. In the event of a problem with the CGCC, an alternate mode will automatically engage. This will be covered in more detail in the lesson on CG control. Although the wing tanks supply the engine on their side, the engines can be cross-fed from either wing or the centre tank if required. This is controlled by the use of the cross-feed valve. Further segregation is provided by the engine low-pressure fuel valves, which automatically isolate an engine from its fuel tanks when the corresponding fire handle is pulled. Finally, the fuel tanks on either side can be shut off by manually operated isolation valves. Lift the guard and select the isolation valve push button, which will shut off the fuel supply from the left-hand inner and centre tanks. The valve closes and the off light comes on. Fuel from the inner and centre tanks on the left side is now shut off. That completes the introduction to the fuel system. In the next lessons we'll look at this in more detail, especially the automatic fuel feed sequence. But first, some questions.